like Andrei Tango-an, third year college in BSIT, Bachelor of Science in Information Technology. So I'm here to tackle about the 7 essentials of the computer. So what are you waiting for? Let's go!
CPU is a short for Central Processing Unit. It's also known as a processor or microprocessor. It's one of the most important pieces of hardware in a digital computing system, if not the most important. Inside the CPU, there are thousands of microscopic transistors, which are tiny switches that controls the flow of electricity through the integrated circuits. You'll find the CPU located on a computer motherboard. CPU is responsible for handling the processing of logical and mathematical operations and executing instructions that is given. It can execute millions of instructions per second, but can carry out only one instructions at a time. There are 3 main parts of a CPU: control unit, arithmetic logic unit, and the register. Control unit, it regulates the flow of input and output. It's the part that fetches and retrieves the instructions from main memory and later decodes them. Arithmetic logic unit, the part where all the processing happens. Here is where all the mathematical calculations take place, such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, as well as all the logical operations for decision making, such as comparing data. The last one is register, an extremely fast memory location. The data and instructions that are currently being processed during the fetch execute cycle are stored there for quick access by the processor. The next one is the motherboard. Motherboard is a printed circuit board and foundation of a computer that is the biggest board in the computer chassis. It allocates power and allows communications to and between the CPU, RAM, and all other computer's hardware components. Motherboard provides connectivity between the hardware components of a computer like the processor, CPU, memory, hard drive, and a video card. There is multiple types of motherboards designed to fit different types and sizes of computers. Each type of motherboard is designed to work with specific types of processors and memory. So they don't work with every processor and type of memory. However, hard drives are mostly universal and work with the majority of motherboards regardless of the type or brand. Now, let's talk about RAM and hard drive at the same time, because they have very unique relationship, which is probably why people often confuse the two. Your hard drive is where all of your data is stored. When your computer tells you you're running low on space, it's because your hard drive is almost full. All of the data that makes up your videos, pictures, documents, file projects, or the 3D worlds and models that makes up a game are all stored here. While hard drive can store a lot of data, they're relatively bad at accessing the data quickly. Everything is accessed through a tiny little wire here, and because most hard drives are made up of spinning disks, your hard drive isn't going to be able to constantly give your CPU the information it needs to run a certain programs. That's where the RAM comes in. RAM is another form of storage. It stores the exact same kind of data in your hard drive, but RAM sacrifices storage spaces for nearly instant accessibility. Unlike your hard drive, which sends all of its data through a little tiny thin wire, your RAM is arranged in these long thin sticks that insert in your motherboard. Think about a storage unit. If you have a massive warehouse, you only have a thin doorway. It's going to be difficult to get and find what you need and get out. If it's kind of spread all over the place, you have to go through a tiny door. But if you have a long wide storage shed, That's got a big massive garage composing an entire side of it. You won't be able to store as much, but things are significantly easier to get to. The next one is power supply. A power supply is a hardware component that supplies power to an electrical device. It receives power from electrical outlet and converts the current from AC alternating current to DC direct current, which is what a computer requires. It also regulates the voltage to an indicated amount, which allows the computer to run smoothly without overheating. The power supply, an integral part of any computer, must function correctly for the rest of the components to work. The next one is the Graphic Processing Unit. Graphic Processing Unit, or GPU, is a specialized processor originally designed to accelerate graphics rendering. GPU can process many pieces of data simultaneously, making them useful for machine learning, video editing, and gaming applications. GPU may be integrated into computer CPU or offered as a discrete hardware unit. The last one is the System Unit. System Unit, or a base unit, is the housing that helps protect and organize all the components that make up a desktop computer. There are 5 important features of a system unit, which is structure, protection, cooling, noise, and aesthetic. Structure, the case, is what holds everything together in a compact and organized fashion. Protection. Without the case, each of the sensitive components in the computer would be vulnerable to dirt, foreign objects, kids, animals, and electrical interference. Cooling. The case helps keep the air properly flowing over all the components, which keep everything cool and running properly. Noise. Many computers and components have fans that generate noise. Having those components in the confined cases reduces the overall noises. The last one is the aesthetics. Although some may disagree, most people would rather look at the case instead of all the circuit boards, wires, and the computer's components. That's all for today's video. Thank you for watching. Bye.